Okay, Truco. I think we have spoken just once before, maybe a year
We
ago,
did
2 years ago.
once, and you said the same thing then as well. And I checked out your YouTube channel as
Hmm.
well, and I mean, I'm fascinated with these discussions as well.
Fascinated? Oh my god.
Yeah, really, I am. Like, even though I am a religious person, I'm not atheist, and I'm not particularly deep into philosophy and things like that. I still appreciate the conversation. Like, we can have a dialogue with each other, at least.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I cannot open my mic. Yeah, there's a good reason. Wonder. I don't let all people here to use their mics because when there are too many people, it causes a lot of problems. That is why.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because some
Truco.
people they jump into the conversation and hello, can you teach me to speak English?
Exactly.
I have IELTS exam soon.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the demonstration. So, okay. Good to hear that, man. I mean, like, she said the 10K, it's good, but as I explained, it's not good because there are just a few people are following the channel. So, knowing that someone that I don't know is watching the content and enjoying, it makes me feel so good. Now you can interrupt. We are not having an actual discussion or something.
So it's going to be a philosophical debate, I believe. Yeah.
That's the purpose, yeah.
So okay, does it start now, or what's the general topic that you're thinking about?
Oh, it's written there. If you didn't read it, I can read it for you, but I understand like you already didn't read it. You should know that I'm recording this, so
Oh, God's atheist. Okay, okay, okay. I got it.
okay.
So which side are you going to represent then?
I'm an atheist.
Okay, I'm a Muslim. Okay.
You think that atheist people will all go to hell?
I do because I believe in that's what the religion itself says.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I am sure as I am sure about the religion itself.
Okay.
It
Because
requires me to believe it.
I understand why I was asking such a weird question because when I was a Muslim, I was not sending all non-believers to the hell. That's why I was just asking.
Oh, so when you were a Muslim, you didn't believe all non-believers went to hell?
Yeah, I believe that the people who are actively
Good.
um no, who were actively rejecting the existence of God. Well, what do I mean by actively? They have really good evidence to believe in God, but they just reject the existence of God. They don't want to obey. Like it's like you're not obeying your, let's say, government. Okay, the police exists,
Mm-hmm.
right? You don't need more evidence to know that the police exist. And there are rules, you know the rules, you understand the rules, but still you don't obey. So, and I believe that that must be the case for non-believers. If they do such a thing, yes, then they deserve some sort of punishment.
Well, but it has, I believe, if I'm not wrong, it has a nuance as well. Like if the person hasn't heard the message,
Hmm.
he's not. The person is not responsible for it.
But what if hearing the message is not enough? Because you should understand the message also. Hearing is not enough.
Hearing, learning.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, yeah, I can understand that. Like, it made me think a lot because, like, I'm born in a Muslim family. If I was born in a Christian family, I would probably not be Muslim. I would go to hell then. How's that fair? And first of all, I would like to say I'm not an expert on Islam in any way.
mm,
When I start, I will just tell my personal beliefs and experiences.
okay. Well, what if we require more? I mean, I'm an ex-Muslim. I already know much about Islam.
I'm an ex-atheist.
Cool.
Interesting.
Now this combination becomes more interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see what other interesting things we will hear in this conversation. So, how did you become Muslim back again? So, you were
Well,
atheist first, then you become
n-
Muslim. You become
no.
you became
I was raised in a religious family, kinda.
uh,
Not too, but
yeah.
like my father did 5 times a day prayer and all of those things. But I never questioned it before I go to college because everyone in my high school basically had the same background and same mentality. Nobody really thought real much different. But when I go to college, two of my roommates were atheists, and when I say atheists, I mean hardcore atheists.
Ooh.
And I was like, it was really hostile to me at first because when you're not used to hearing different ideas, it feels like a personal attack on you. It feels pretty horrifying, and it made me think all the things I never thought of, I never questioned before. So for like 3 years, I was an atheist.
Mhm. And how was your journey back to Islam?
Well, my cousin killed himself when he was
Ooh.
17.
Sorry to hear that,
So,
man.
oh, no, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it was, I don't know, like it was pretty tragic because he had a very good family life, very happy family. They were good economically. He was very intelligent. Like he was going to one of the best high schools in Turkey, and I I just didn't understand why he did it. It was so random and needless, and it made me think a lot about what will happen when I die. So that's why when I started back reading, actually, like I started first time reading Quran that time. Just got
Okay.
curious again. So there were verses that kind of fascinated me, and I don't know, it made me think. Like some of the things, maybe it sounds a little bit cliche, but some of the things made me believe this can't be by the hand of a human being.
Like what, for example?
Like there are prophetic verses. There was a verse about Romans, how they're going to get defeated. And if you look historically in context, Romans are pretty much still the powerhouse in that region. And there's no indicator that says they will get beaten by Persian. So they first get beaten, and the prophecy also says they will also beat them back a while after. And even the most famous historian says like there is no way you can predict that. So this is one of them. But it's like there are some verses like that, but for some reason that's the one that
I believe
makes
there's
me
only one verse talking about the
exactly
future. I mean, making prophecy. Is there any other
prophecy.
verses?
Oh, other than that, oh, like the one about the embryos.
But it's not a prophecy.
No, that's not a prophecy.
Yeah.
uh, but the one says like it's impossible to make all that conclusion without technological advancement. So
Mm.
it says basically all the stages. And I don't know, there was a famous anatomy professor. Most of medical universities still make use his books. He says it's uncanny that it's the same process perfectly lines up.
Mm. I believe there are some problems in those claims, but anyway, Turko, it's not your field, right? Islam. If you're getting bored, you can tell.
I would say that I am quite familiar with some things in Islam,
Oh, okay then.
Mhm.
and personally, and no offense to you personally, Wanderer, but Islam to me is a very offensive thing.
Okay.
Offensive, like in what way do you think?
I think that Islam is a virus.
Ooh.
Oh,
It's a parasite
Islam is
upon the world.
Oh.
Honestly, like,
well.
no offense upon you personally.
No, no,
I
no.
don't say
I'm
you.
not getting offended. As long as you're not insulting me in general, it's okay. Just you can say whatever you think.
Okay, that's another interesting thing.
I
Okay.
used to have debates like this because, like I had a very tight friend group. We had 4 to 5 friends. We used to debate all night. It was very fun.
Oh, good, good. So, what about the other things that you want to mention from the Quran? You think that it cannot be man-made?
It cannot be man-made.
Yeah.
Oh, so in general, the language or the structure of Quran itself, one of the things that I don't know if you can count it as a miracle, but one of the things that fascinates me, how easy it is to memorize. Like there are 100
Mm.
million people knows it by memory.
Yeah, because it's a
And
religion, and
oh,
religions are
not because,
powerful.
but
I think there's a connection problem. Okay, disconnected. Oh, wait, I don't hear you too, Truco. Is my connection? I believe it's my connection.
Well, I mean, you could maybe contribute that to the fact that people are putting a lot of fear about what is going to happen in the later, when they die and everything, and that people are told that they will be forgiven sins, and even people within their family are going to be forgiven sins. Like you're not just saving yourselves, but you're actually contributing to other people as well. If only you memorize the Quran. Maybe you can think about the incentivizing things about that. And if you're scared about something, like going to hell, to Jahannam, then maybe you can think of why people are so motivated to memorize the Quran in the first place.
Sure, it can be explained in many different ways. Anything can be memorized. Sure, there are texts that can be memorized more easily, but it's not a good evidence to think that it's from God. That's why it's more memorable or memorizable or whatever the word is in English.
Yeah, like for you, for example, philosopher, let's say that you actually believe that there's a possibility that you are going to burn in hell forever.
Mm-hmm.
And there are certain things that you can do, and there are certain things that you cannot do. And then something, prevents you from. Maybe you're going to be acquitted from that. And it's something as simple as memorizing a book as short as the Quran. That's all it takes. And now you're completely free, then of course you're going to memorize that thing because you're scared.
Yes, and again, like it's not because it's fearful, Turco. Just imagine that the fan of Manchester United, that they all have their songs, right? And they memorize them, and there are many people who know the same thing. It's like memorizing the song of your favorite singer, right? So Islam
Hmm.
as a religion, and religion is very important in people's even daily life, right? So memorizing something related to that thing that you're doing, you're acting, you're living life through with it, that deserves to be memorized. And if it's being memorized by many people, that is not proving that it's because of the language or it's because God wrote that thing. It can be easily memorized. But Quran is already poetic, right? It was written in a poetic way. It also, boosts the, let's say, ease of memorizing that thing. If it's a poem, you can memorize it easier. So there are a lot of advantages, being a religion and religious text is a really big motive to memorize such a book. We shouldn't credit God just because many people memorizes it. And again, what you said is also one of the reasons, I believe.
I really don't care how poetic or beautiful a book is, but especially with the Quran, the whole premise of it, it's just nonsense, really, because the premise of it is that Muhammad went into a cave while he was suicidal, and an angel, if we can even call it that, choked him and revealed the Quran. Oh my God! And it came straight down from heaven, and Muhammad can't even read or write, and that's supposedly like the whole big miracle about the whole Quran. Meanwhile, most of the Quran, like, it's so non-descriptive. It doesn't even really say anything. And furthermore, it has a lot of things that are taken straight out of the Talmud, like the Jewish writings, straight out of Gnostic writings from Greece.
I think that's not a good argument to claim that it's man-made, Turko. Especially, you are a believer also. So, if the book came from a god, I believe that's normal to find similar stories in a book. Claims that it's just the descendant of other religions. Quran doesn't reject Jesus or Moses or Abraham or Joseph or
Yes, it does.
Solomon. So if the claim is true, if it came from the same God, it's normal to find the same story. So that's why it's not a good argument. But what about the
Yeah,
other books, right? Like the ones that you believe in? What is the difference?
I'll tell you the difference. I'll tell you very conclusively, especially about what you said now, is that you said that, oh, they believe in Jesus too, and they also believe in Musa and Ibrahim, but they have their own like version about it. Me, I believe in the Bible that has been substantiated for a long time, and then 600 years after Jesus Christ died, and there was already established a big community of Jewish people and Christians. Now they're just going to go against everything that they believed in. Like, Musa is, he did such and he didn't do such. Like, you can't really compare whatever the Quran says about Musa or Moses. You can't really do it. And
But which one is true?
we'll get to Jesus later, but it's very fascinating to me how people can say this. Like, even a lot of Muslims, when it comes to Jesus, they call him Isa. It's a very offensive thing to call Jesus.
Why?
Arabic Christians, they don't call Jesus Isa. They call him Yeshua.
Yeshua. Okay.
Yeah, but, and the
And
reason why is because there's a story in the first book of Moses. Is that there were two brothers. There was Esau and there was Jacob. No, excuse me, Isaac, not Jacob. Jacob is the next generation, and Esau was the one who actually sacrificed his birthright for just a meal, a pot of stew. And Jacob is the one, no, Isaac is the one that gave birth to Jacob, who would become later Israel. And Israel means that they're walking with God. That's God's people.
okay.
Now, it's very fascinating to me why Islamic people they call Jesus Isa, and it's particularly interesting to me. Like, okay, maybe it's just like a language difference, and it's easy to brush off, right? But the thing is that Christian Arabs don't call him that.
Yeah, but that can be explained in another way also. Just because it's the same language, names can differ and based on regions. They have dialects. Maybe some people use the same name in a different way in another dialect. So there can be a lot of
Right.
explanations. But here's the thing, Turko.
Mm.
Let's go to another point on the same topic. You're telling me a story, and Muslims are telling another story. So he left, but I could hear the similar, seemingly different stories, but similar also. As an atheist, I don't know who is right. I mean, what if you're wrong about what you're saying right now? What if Muslims are right? Or what if both of you are wrong? Maybe you guys both don't know the story very well. Maybe there are many mistakes in those stories. How to verify who is telling the truth?
Well, I can at least tell you that I'm a lot more open to that I'm wrong about my Christianity and that you're right about your atheism than that Islam is even close to being correct. I'm much more open to that.
But still, I feel like there are other reasons behind this mindset. That doesn't change the fact that there is no good way to understand which one is the truth, including hard
Well,
atheism.
I disagree with you. I think that like for anybody who actually paid it proper attention to all of the things that I've said during this conversation, I think that if they went into it and they actually, you know, took their proper time because they actually care about it,
Mhm.
I think that there is a very clear answer to those things.
Yeah,
Now,
but
whether you believe in God or not, that's up to
mhm.
you.
What you
But
said so far is just bulk of information, just statements.
right,
Yeah. So
right. Well,
again,
no. Like what I've stated so far is not up for discussion. I haven't gone into like philosophical things and things that are subjective yet. I would like to, if we can agree to disagree about things, and we can do things. You know, we can speak. We don't have to agree about it. But so far, I have not spoken anything that is up for discussion because all of the things that I've said about Islam are in the Quran and in the Hadith, and the origins of it too. They're also in the Talmud and in the Mishnah of the Jewish religion. I have not spoken anything like philosophical or anything like that yet.
I understand, but that's why I said bulk of information, okay? But to me, all information can be questioned. Doesn't matter whether it's from Islam or
Sure.
Christianity or Judaism. So if you say something, if you say X, hey, wait, either it's true or false as a thinking being. I will ask the question, hey, wait. Yes, it's the case. Either it's true or false. But there are other letters there. For example, Z, Islam, or B, Judaism. It's the
Mm.
same for either it's true or false for each of them. To me, all of them are equal. And when it
Right,
comes to choose
right,
which
yeah.
one is the true statement,
I don't disagree with you that you have your viewpoints about whether these things. For you, I would assume just completely out of the gate that you don't believe in either of these things, but you want to bring them into conversation anyways, though. I mean, you can't really disagree with that because you come to this place where there's a lot of religious people to begin with,
yeah,
right?
that's why I'm not claiming those statements are false. It can be true, but again, the problem raises again, which one is true? If there is a true out there.
Well, which one is true?
Yeah.
I could just you know, willy-nilly, just without any kind of discussion, just say Jesus Christ is the truth, the Bible is the truth. Get into it, and if you disagree with it, then you know, just blah 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 blah. You know, I could bring up a lot of things about that, and you could take it as good earth too, right? But instead, probably you're not going to take that as actually something that is negotiable and something that is true right away,
Maybe.
right? You're gonna want to talk about it. You want to have it substantiated in some kind of way.
Exactly. But you see, even if I left Islam, when the guy was speaking, I'm not immediately like thinking, "Hey, that's false, that's false, that's false, that's false." Like, yeah, maybe there are a lot of things that I don't see, and he made a lot of claims about his religion. He said a man cannot write such a book. Why? Because there are things that they predict the future. There are things that they give detailed information that the technology is not available at that time to, say those things and blah blah. He was, putting a lot of arguments, right? So,
Mm,
and probably you will do the same thing. You'll mention about prophecies and other things, miracles, personal experience, and many other things that I heard before.
mm.
Again, to me, it will be okay. I mean, maybe it's true. One of those. Maybe. But when it comes to choosing, I feel like there is the same amount of evidence coming from all sides. Christianity, Islam, Judaism, the amount of the evidence that I see is equal to me.
Okay, you think that it's equal, but let me ask you this. Why exactly are you curious about it to begin with? Like, why do you want to talk with such people at all?
They have a claim, and this claim is really extraordinary. It's a life-changing claim, right? And I'm so curious.
Does that kind of does it bother you that they have the claim that they do?
No, it doesn't bother me. I mean, if they're not able to prove, if they're not able to provide good evidence to me, it's not bothering me. But just okay. I mean, they tried, and I'm not convinced. But I know myself, I can be convinced if there's good evidence out there.
Okay. But at the same time, though, it seems like you're very interested to talk with religious people for some reason.
Again, it's the curiosity about the idea of God or gods or afterlife or, such topics. I'm just curious. That's why I'm interested in talking to religious people because they already have such beliefs, right?
Hmm. Would you say that maybe religious people are brainwashed and things
I
like that?
cannot say that because I realize myself there is no way out from escaping believing in something. And I also believe in many things, and there are many things that I cannot even justify. So they also believe in many things. And one of them is God, afterlife, angels. Okay. I mean, we're not that much different. But when I go deeper, I find a little bit nuance. The things that I believe and they believe. That's why, like, I'm critical about the beliefs of their religions, what they believe. I'm
Hmm.
suspicious, but still, like, it doesn't mean what they believe is false. What if it's true that Jesus is the real God? That's still interesting to me.
Wouldn't that be a awakening if one day just shit just gets out of hand, and then one day the heavens open up and oh wow, turns
Yeah,
out that
maybe.
the Christians were right.
Yeah, but like again, as I said before, the same chance exists in Islam too. Maybe I will open my eyes that, oh, okay, Muhammad is next to God, and well, whatever he preached at that time was true, or I don't know. That can be the case, and I wouldn't be that much surprised.
Well, for me, that's inconceivable,
Oh,
honestly,
okay.
because here's the reason why I think that that's inconceivable. It's because all of the scripture, all of it, besides like, oh, indeed, Allah is very, very righteous. Indeed, Allah is the most righteous one. Besides that, all I can find is just like plagiarizing biblical stories. That's it.
Yeah, I understand
That's
that.
the only, and not only biblical stories, but also like Gnostic mysticism from hundreds of years after, and then hundreds of years after that, Muhammad comes along and says that he has the new revelation. That's why he came with the Quran.
But isn't the case for
And then the
Gospels?
Quran is just filled with a bunch of Mishnah and Talmudic sayings
I understand
and
that, but
Gnostic
isn't the
writings, and
case
that's
for our
it.
Bible?
That's the only thing that he has to offer. And he's the whole premise is that oh, Muhammad couldn't read or write, and he has this completely new revelation that is supposed to like set the world straight. A bunch of shit that has been done there hundreds of years before he was born. That's ridiculous. And then on top of that, who is this guy? He's a guy who built his fame and his fear and his power by what? How did he do this? He robbed caravans and he became a warlord, and then he purported himself as a big, moral character while having sex with a 9-year-old. Are you bloody joking me, bro? Honestly, that's ridiculous. There is no excuse for that. That's evil.
Oh, I'm speaking while it was mute. But that will be heard in the recording. No problem. But I will repeat, I have to repeat what I said. I was telling you that the same critique goes for your religion too, because Bible also repeats a lot of story from older religions. So that's why it's not a good critique. And when it comes to other, claims about Muhammad, you take them so seriously as if they're true. Maybe they're true, maybe not for me, because I'm skeptical about everything comes from Islam, including those claims. That's why I don't claim that Muhammad was a pedophile or Muhammad even married 4 or more women. So I don't care about such claims as an atheist. Why? Because I don't take seriously everything what comes from religions. And
Actually, I actually don't think that you are an atheist to begin with.
what do you think?
I think that you are from Dawa. You're lying about what you believe in. Yes, I think that you're lying about it. I think that you're not being honest about what you believe in.
I'm not on. And what do I believe in, you assume?
I think that you are Islamic yourself.
That's your claim.
Yeah, I think you're doing taqiyya.
I understand you. But I feel like you're an who hates Islam and Muslims.
I do. I do. I make no mistake about it. I do hate
Yeah.
Islam.
Yeah. And that's why you're just bullshitting around and you're claiming a lot of things, even, when you're talking to someone who claims that he's an atheist, he has a YouTube channel, he's debating with
Yes.
Muslims, and
Yes.
so you're still telling me that I'm
Yes.
lying about my position?
Yeah, I
Anyway,
mean, obviously, I do hate somebody who's trying to eradicate me and somebody who hates my religion.
I see that. That's
Obviously, I
clear.
have a lot of hatred towards that religion.
It's good to know yourself.
Obviously.
It's good to know yourself. And I know myself. I'm an agnostic atheist who doesn't believe in any god, but who gives the same chance to all religions, or even if it's too bullshit, give the same amount of chance. I don't take everything seriously like you're
Yeah,
doing.
yeah. All right.
Yeah. But
Sure,
anyway,
sure. I
bye-bye.
don't have time for
Take
this.
care. I also don't have time for you. If you claim that I'm a liar, I don't have time for you. Never. Where is this block button so that I don't forget? Yeah, that was weird. Yeah. They're not going to miss. I'm gonna post this one. So, anyway, thanks for joining, guys. Bye bye.